Hey fly people, it's Sheila and I'm back with another video. And today's video I'm going to be talking about menopause. I've gotten several requests to talk about it because I have mentioned it. You know, it's an ongoing issue with me if you've looked at any of my videos, and I'm always talking about my hot flashes and the pause. So if you would like to hear about my experience, my ongoing experience, then just stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. So, okay, I'm gonna try to put on a little makeup while I talk. Tried this once before about a year ago. It didn't work very well. So, the only thing I hate is that I can't really see without my glasses, but I can't put on my eye makeup without it. Well, obviously, with my glasses on. First, let me say that I am not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. This is about my experience. Full stop. My experience. And I would say it started mid to late 40s. Let me also say that I have been told by doctors, and you know, if any of you out there have read articles, are kind of going through this situation yourself, many doctors will tell you that you kind of follow what your mom went through. If you watched your mom experience things, for instance, if your mom had heavy menstrual cramps, there's a higher percentage that you may also have that. If your mom experienced easy childbirth, or if she has cellulite, there's a higher percentage of a chance that you will too. It's not guaranteed, but you know, it kind of trends that way. And there are 3 girls in my family. My mom, she did experience heavy menstrual cramping, and I experienced it, oh my God, to the point of sickness. I would get physically ill with menstrual cramps. My middle sister didn't experience it quite like that, and my younger sister, she experienced it some, not as bad as me, but more than my middle sister. So my mom went through menopause, I would say, probably around the same age that I did. And I remember a nurse practitioner telling her that she might have to have a hysterectomy. And back then, it was kind of like in the mid-90s, she had to go and get a second opinion. And she went to see a doctor who was also a personal friend of mine. I worked at a medical center at the time. And, you know, we were all nervous. I was like, oh my God, my mother's going to have surgery. And as it turned out, he was like, Mother, you don't need surgery. You are going through the change. And then that's when I first started really hearing about menopause. And at that time, if you thought hormone replacement therapy is controversial now, oh my God, it was off the chain then. That's when they were starting to do a lot of the studies, and people were like, oh, you take those pills, they're like cancer pills. And she did try it for a little bit, but she didn't like the way they made her feel, so she stopped taking them. But I know that she suffered with hot flashes pretty regularly, and I think I'm kind of following that pattern. So anyway, let me see. I've got this Benefit very thin brow liner that I'm gonna attempt to put on while I'm talking to you. I would love to. I think my sister-in-law got her eyebrows kind of like the tattoo. I think next year I'm gonna do that for myself because I love the way hair's turned out, and it is such a pain. And as I've gotten older, my eyebrows have thinned out some. They were never thick to begin with, but anyway, so please bear with me. So my experience just started around, I would say, I was about 45, 47, somewhere around there. And then I just started noticing little changes with my body. My periods were starting to change some, and the it was becoming harder to stay fresh, if you know what I mean, especially in between cycles. And a lot of business happening down there, discharges and stuff, and I'm like, what is, going on? And this kind of went on for a little time, and then I would notice that every now and then I'd break out in a sweat just out of nowhere. And so this went on for a little time, and eventually oh Lord, I'm out of this, talking to people who were kind of experiencing the same things, and they were like, well, you sound like you might be starting menopause, or in that gray area. So eventually, and I don't have a timeline. I did not keep any kind of I'm not good with that. I didn't keep no kind of calendar. I didn't have any kind of timeline. I wasn't documenting anything. I don't journal anything. So I can't tell you specifics about how long in between this, that, and the other. But I'll try to just kind of give you an outline of what happened with me. So I had friends at work said, yeah, I've been having hot flashes. And so there was this one doctor that was known for integrative medicine, where they take a more holistic approach, because clearly I did not want to deal with hormone replacement therapy. I didn't know what stage I was in at the time, and so I tried to get in with this doctor and couldn't, because she never took new patients. So I saw someone in her practice, and because people were like, oh yeah, they gave me this cream, I put it on and it works wonders, it stopped the hot flashes, blah 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 blah. And I was like, well, I'm going to get me some of this cream. Well, suffice it to say, I did not get any. I found out after they run a full blood panel, and they check your hormone levels. And then when I sat down with the doctor, he basically was saying to me that what you're dealing with right now is called perimenopause. And perimenopause is that stage right before menopause. Because perimenopause, you will still have menstrual cycles. They might be irregular. Some might be heavy. Some might be light. You will start to experience maybe hot flashes or night sweats, or some of the other symptoms, which there's a bucket load of symptoms, and I would say Google it, just look it up, because everybody doesn't experience every symptom. So I went, talked to him about it, and he was like, right now there's not a whole lot you can do. You might, can take some over-the-counter things, but you're not at that stage where you're in menopause. Menopause is when you have 12 consecutive months of no menstrual cycles. So you have to go 12 months. I was told that by this doctor. I was told this by my own medical doctor. If you have a cycle, you have to start all over again. And that happened to me. I had talked to my doctor about it, and she explained it to me. I had gotten up to like 8 or 9 months, and then I had a cycle. Oh, I'm so pissed. And see, the thing is that you, in perimenopause, yeah, you can experience some weight gain, but I could still lose weight. And it's a different kind of weight gain than before all of that happened. It's hard to explain. For those of you who are out there that's going through it, please comment down below some of your experiences, because some things are hard to put in words, or hard to explain what's happening to your body. So she was like, well, yeah, you had this cycle, you're not in menopause yet. And then eventually I did get there, and I noticed probably a couple years later, I noticed that I was kind of counting, and that I no longer had a cycle, and it had been 12 months. and talked to her about it, and she was like, because I started having hot flashes, oh my God, it seemed like I was having them every 5 minutes. I was miserable. I mean, I was just sweating. I was just a walking wet sweat rag. So I was like, what can you do? What can you do to help me? Because your hormone levels change so much during perimenopause and menopause, and they're like coming waves. And when you're in a high wave, that's when you're experiencing most of those symptoms. And you can be in a low wave for a while. And I have been in low waves that have lasted for over a year. But at this point, I mean, I was at the top of the hill. And she said, well, I can give you 2 things that could possibly help you with the hot flashes. And she was like, you want to watch what you eat, you want to watch caffeine. I'm going to get back to caffeine in a minute. You want to watch your diet and stuff like that. But she said the 2 medications I can give you, one is a blood pressure medication. That works well for hot flashes. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't take it because I have very good blood pressure. Thank God, I've always had good blood pressure. And she said that would make it too low, and then that would cause another problem. So the other thing she gave me, and I'm using this. Let me tell you what I'm using: a brow bestie, and this is by LA Girl. I found this at Ulta or CVS or one of those, and I'm just putting it on lightly. And then I've got, because this is just a light makeup, I'm not doing anything major. And this, I don't even know the name of this. It came in a BoxyCharm that I had, and I'm sure I'm almost at the end of it, but I love it. It's like a brow gel that helps to, look, I've used this thing so much, the name ain't even on here, but it kind of helps to keep things in place. So anyway, she said that, getting back to the Menopause story, and I know I'm rambling and kind of all over the place, so please forgive me, just trying to take you through the progression of what happened with me. So I tried the other medication she gave me, and she said it was a very low dosage antidepressant. Okay, I took it, and I remember it was a holiday weekend over Thanksgiving. I was getting home on Thanksgiving. I took that pill, and oh my God, I can't even describe. It was like taking a high dosage muscle relaxer, or I felt like I had been shot with a horse tranquilizer. I was dragging, oh my God, I could barely keep my eyes open. I was lethargic. It took me out. I was on a trip at the time, and then I ate something that didn't agree with, I guess, what was in my system with that pill, and I was sick as a dog for 2 days. I said, I can't do it. So when I went back to her, I told her what happened. I said, what in the heck was in that pill? I said, I tried. Friends was like, well, you didn't take it long enough. You got to get it in your system. And that might be true, but I didn't have time for trial and error. And that thing wiped me out. I just didn't like the way it made me feel. I felt like it just completely altered my chemistry. And so we both laughed about it. And she said, I have women that are taking, you're on the lowest dosage. I have women that are taking over 250 milligrams of this, to help them. And I said, I don't even know that one time that I took it even helped me with a hot flash, because, and this is the Fenty concealer, because I was so knocked out from it, I could barely function. I said, I can't take that thing anymore. And she was, my doctor was heavily against taking any kind of hormone replacement, and I really didn't want to take it either. Anything I did, I wanted to try to do it naturally. So I just didn't do anything. And eventually I got on the lower wave, and that seemed to be okay. In the interim, my doctor retired, and I got another doctor whom I had known for years also. And things were going okay. And then I must have hit another high wave and just was miserable. And this happened around, I want to say this this happened, I talked to her before, but this was like happened around 2020. And she referred me to a gynecologist. I went and I sat down and I talked with him. And, he was like, well, they've done more studies on hormone replacement therapy, and it does help people. I don't know that I would do prolonged usage. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to get this Beauty Bakery breakfast in bed palette, which I'm going to do an eyeshadow palette video, but and as you can tell, I've worked it out. I love this palette. Anyway, he said, and I'll leave it up to you. He said, why don't you try doing some over-the-counter stuff? There's more stuff now, like Amberin and a couple others that are made from natural ingredients that some women have found to help them. And I said, okay, well, I'll try that first. Well, I tried it. It really did not work for me. And when I went back and saw my medical doctor, she was like, Sheila, when you saw him, that was all you did. You didn't get any kind of pills or cream or anything. And I said, no, because I don't know if I want to do hormone replacement. And she said, I understand what you're saying. She said, and let me be clear. And this here was kind of mind changing. I mean, this was something I had never heard before. And everything that I've read and talking to people, I've never heard what she said to me. And what she said was, I get what you're saying. And she said, and I would not say take it for a long period of time. She said, because what people don't understand about hormone replacement therapy is that the symptoms go away for as long as you take it. But once you stop taking it, they come right back. It doesn't stop them forever. It just puts them on pause. I never read anything about that. I had no idea that was the case. And that blew me away. She said it doesn't stop it forever. It comes right back. And so I went back, saw a nurse practitioner in the gynecologist's office, and I talked to her about it. And she told me the same thing. The symptoms don't stop forever. They come back. Now, again, this is what my doctors told me. If you ever talk to your doctor about it, I would say ask him about it. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm living proof that it's true. I talked to the nurse practitioner about various options. I talked to her about the patch. I talked to her, there was a vaginal cream that the gynecologist in the previous appointment did prescribe me, but it was topical. And it just would help with dryness. And I used it some. I didn't use it a whole lot because, quite frankly, I was nervous about it. And then when I talked to her about that, she assured me it was the nurse practitioner. When I talked to her about it, she assured me that it was in fact topical. It didn't absorb into your blood system the way a pill or a patch. And she said you could do a patch, you could do pills. And I said, well, let me think about it and I'll call you back. So I thought about it for another day. I called her. She made it. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I went ahead and put on my little eyeshadow off camera because, child, I'm so busy talking, I really can't concentrate on putting on makeup. I don't know how people do these get ready with me's. Clearly, it's not my forte. But I will put on my little, this is by Benefits too, and one of my favorite mascaras, the Roller Lash. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm box. I like it though. I'm not a big mascara fan, but I like the way this goes on, and it doesn't get too, it doesn't clump up too bad, and that's why I like it. So anyway, I called, like I said, called the nurse practitioner back. I said, okay, I'm gonna try this patch and we'll see how it goes. And she said, you know, it'll take a little bit for it to get in your system, but then you should start noticing a difference. If you start having any kind of cramping or spotting or anything like that, you know, which can be the case when you first start taking them. You know, she was like, let us know, we'll monitor, you know, check in on you and make sure you're doing okay with it. And I was like, okay. So got the prescription. All right, let me put my glasses on because I can't see a thing. This is ridiculous. I don't even know where I put the top of this. So, oh, Jesus. So, this is what it looks like. It's called the Combi patch, and I'll take the front off because it's and that's what I got. That's what it looks like. And you apply it one patch twice a week. They say usually around your stomach area, so I would apply it around my waistline area, and you could shower with it. And I'd say by the next week I started noticing a difference. And a month in, I didn't have any hot flashes. It was great. Nothing. And I was on it for about 6 months. I don't even remember when this. Let me see. I was on it for about 6 months, and this was in 2020. The summer of 2020. So in January, I got a email from my gynecologist, and he was like, yes, I just got a request from your pharmacy to refill the prescription for you for the patch. And he said, I want to talk to you about it because it's been 6 months, and I usually don't like my patients to go much longer than that without consulting with them to see how they feel about it. He said, personally, I would advise that maybe you wean off of it. If you feel like you have to come back to it later, maybe take a break from it, because even though, studies have shown that it's not as severe in causing cancer as we once thought, but there are still, there's still, a chance that this could happen. And so he was like, I always, want to let my patients know. So I was like, well, I definitely don't want to be on it for a prolonged period of time. So I think what I will do is wean myself off of it. And I asked him, I said, how do your other patients do it? And he was like, some go cold turkey, some go down to one patch a week, and they might do that for a couple of weeks and then, just completely get off of it. And I said, okay, that's what I'll do. So I think I used one more patch, and then I got off of it. And about, I don't know, I'd say about 2 weeks later, I started noticing, mild hot flashes, mild night sweats. Now, my biggest issue has been the hot flashes. I get night sweats, but not like some women have described night sweats. They are absolutely soaking through sheets, completely wet, that kind of thing. I do sweat. My husband said I have flung sweat on him. My thing now is that I get periods in the night where I'm hot, fling the covers off. 5 minutes later, I'm freezing. Whenever I have a hot flash, some are milder, some are real bad, where I'm glistening with sweat. Sweat is dripping. And then I have to take a minute and just kind of, pat down and try to just calm down. And then I'm freezing cold. I have always run cold anyway, but I can be outside in the middle of a snowstorm and have a hot flash and be burning up. I am so sorry, y'all. My card was full. And I apologize for the length of this video. This is just a subject that you can't run through. And I didn't make any notes or anything, so of course I'm rambling. But just know that everybody's experience is different. And like I was saying, my main symptoms have been hot flashes. I have had, I would say, light night sweats, which I'm still experiencing. And after I got off the patch, I just decided I was not going to do anything else, because I'm gonna let it take its natural course. There's no point in me. It had gotten really bad, and I was fine pausing it for the 6 months that I did. But you can only pause it for so long. It's not gonna stop. I remember talking to a coworker, and she's been taking it for like over 10 years. And she was like, "Oh, that's just a bunch of malarkey. These doctors tell you that. I haven't had a problem." And that might work well for her, but I don't know if that's going to work well for me. God intended our bodies to do certain things, and this is the natural order of things, and I'm just going to let it play out and take its course and just deal with it the best that I can. So that's basically my story, my experience. But let me tell you all some things that I have found to help me through the process. And these are things to help my physical self. Now, if you don't take probiotics or prebiotics, both, that might be something you want to look into. They have some that are geared towards the female system. And I will put some pictures of ones that I have taken, because it's all about your pH balance down there, and that will also help you in the freshness of your body. I also used to use suppositories. I don't use them anymore. I really haven't needed them since I moved into straight up menopause. I took these things more when I was in perimenopause. Now, RepHresh, they have a gel that was really good, that really helped with odors and things like that. And then I mentioned in if you did not see my my trash video, the one that I just emptied, there's a company called VH Essentials. I had read about them years ago, and they have a daily feminine wash, but they also have these suppositories that were wonderful. They helped with pH balance, and they basically didn't have any dyes or parabens or any. They were basically vegan in a way. And this is the wash, a daily wash that I like to use. And you can find these for sure at CVS. I have found it at Walmart. The suppositories might be a little harder to find. Go to CVS if you're interested, and I will put a picture above of the you can go on their website, I'm sure, but I'll put a picture above so you can see what they look like. But they worked great for me, along with the Replens, and which is and they had a probiotic pill called RepHresh, if I'm not mistaken, and they were expensive, but they really help to balance the pH levels, and that's what's important, to kind of keep things flowing, and keep odors and those kind of things down. Another thing that worked well is, many of us use panty liners anyway. I needed something that was a little bit thicker, but not bulky like a menstrual pad. And so here's an empty packet. I use Poise daily liners. A friend turned me onto these years ago, and I love them because they really are fresh. They really absorb odor, if you need it. And this is what they look like. And they come in individual packets. And like I said, pretty thin. Excuse me. And I like those quite a bit. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Honey Pot. I think there's been some fuss over some ingredients or something. I've not had an issue with it. She has a wash that I've used, and it's okay. I like the VH Essentials better, and some other stuff. And then there's one that Natural Ray just mentioned on her empties, and I'm gonna try that. And then a gynecologist came out with a line called Lumi, I believe, and I do want to try that because I've been hearing good things. But what I do like about the Honey Pot is there's a spray that she has, and it's a panty spray. I really like this. Let me see. Make sure. Okay. And it comes in different fragrances. This is lavender. There's a strawberry. I also like to spray it under my arms because I sweat so much. Oh my God. I mean, whew, sometimes I'm like, I cannot believe how funky I am under there. And this helps calm that down. So I spray this, and then I put on my regular deodorant, which I don't use deodorants with aluminum in them. I use the natural deodorants, but this helps. And that's all I have for this regarding menopause. But please, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what some of your experiences have been, because I tell you, every woman is different, and we can have a wonderful discussion about some things that you use that might help other women. I would say go online just to look up different symptoms, because another symptom that I have experienced is every now and then I'll get a little bit of vertigo. I did not know that that was a menopause symptom until a friend had given me a list of different symptoms. There are so many things that go with menopause that you just don't know. So it's so important that you do your research and talk to your doctor about things that might be able to help you get some type of relief. And I will list all of these things that I have used in the description box. And I think that's it. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for rocking with me. I really appreciate you guys. You are wonderful. And we're going into the fall months, and hopefully it won't be like the last two falls that we have had. Oh my God. But as we move into these months, please take care of each other. Please continue to love on your family and your friends, and I will see you in the next upload.